It's incredibly discouraging, especially right now. We look at what's going on with people's view of just the justice system and law in general in this country. To do that sort of a thing, I think just shows that they're playing politics with this to a level that is really disheartening. But the Attorney General standing strong on his side of things. He's not changing his mind at all. In fact, he had some statements today.
Today's vote may make for good political theater in the minds of some, but it is at base both a crass effort and a grave disservice to the American people. They expect and they deserve far more.
Yes,
we expect and deserve the documents that Congress subpoenaed.
Right.
That would be a good place to start.
Right.
Look, from the beginning, you know, you guys, we've all been here. We've all looked at how the explanations given for why the Attorney General should not produce these documents. First of all, it's always been sort of a shotgun approach. It's just, well, it's this, it's that, it's racial, they're asking too much, it's politics, whatever the case may be. No, this is a simple case of procedure. They could just give the documents in question.
Don't forget that it hurts the investigation.
These investigations, which they say are terrible. I mean, if these investigations are still ongoing, I'd want to know why. But I would raise this to you guys now, because the question is, where is this going? I don't think, and feel free to disagree. I certainly was wrong about the individual mandate. So I'm eating a little humble pie today on that. But anyway, I don't think the U.S. Attorney for D.C., the criminal contempt proceeding, I don't think that is going anywhere. I do think, though, that there's another option here that will be exercised. There'll probably be a series of meetings. Chairman Issa will reach out and say, "You going to give us the documents now?" And of course, now the battle lines are drawn, so he's not going to give them. The Attorney General is not going to give them the documents. I think impeachment is what comes next after this. I think that's the most likely scenario. That would be up to the House. I don't think during this administration you'll see these documents, because clearly, if you're willing to go to these lengths to protect these documents, there is something.
But Buck, as you mentioned, there were two votes. There was the criminal contempt vote, where, as you pointed out, it's probably not going anywhere. That dog's not going to hunt. However, do you like that, Will?
No, I like it.
Okay,
I got that. I couldn't understand the fancy words leading up to that.
Is that good? However, there was a second vote, and that was the civil contempt vote. And what could happen there is that Congress could ask a federal judge to look at the documents in question and make a determination whether or not Eric Holder is improperly withholding them.
That was 258 to 95.
But secondly, the judge then has the ability to, adjudicate whether or not it's appropriate for the White House to be asserting executive privilege. So a federal judge could very well strike down this executive privilege and say it's not valid in this case.
I would assume 11th Circuit, I think this is very unlikely that would happen. You're right, it could theoretically happen.
Congress could go to a federal judge and say, take care of this.
I think that's very unlikely. I've also pointed out to you before that this is Eric Holder's wheelhouse. He understands corruption investigations better than anybody else. He built his entire career on this. So he knows that, yeah, they could go to a federal judge. They could extend out the proceedings. They'll ask for disclosure. I mean, they'll do all sorts of legal tricks to push this back, because after Election Day, the whole nature and tone and tenor of this changes. So I don't think you're going to get justice that way. And I think that the federal judges will be very slow to overrule executive privilege in this case. If it's anywhere near the White House, they're going to say, we don't want to get, this is a food fight we want no part of. So I just think it's unlikely. But Amy, you could absolutely be right. But impeachment is up to the House.
And
the House is a public.
I think that's far more politically volatile for them.
Volatile? I mean, they've already held him in contempt. They've held him in contempt for documents he won't give. The next step after that has to be impeachment if you're going to continue on with this line.
Down, they look feckless, and then it looks more like a political stunt, that they didn't do anything about it. They said, all right, that's it. That served its purpose. We're moving on. Who cares about Brian Terry?
I think Holder will take that on the chin. I don't think that would, even if he were impeached, because he knows the Senate. You need 2/3 in the Senate to actually remove from office. That's never going to happen. So there's no way. So he's going to be able to hold on to his job, and as long as you say, Amy, assuming that my reading of this is right, and it could be wrong, I've been wrong once today, then I think the documents are never going to see the light of day.
So let me ask about this. I was really surprised by this report in the AP that on Tuesday, to try to head off this contempt vote, that the DOJ actually showed Republican and Democratic staffers on the Oversight Committee 2 Holder emails, and one from the Deputy Attorney General James Cole, that were written in early 2011 that appear to show that Attorney General Eric Holder did not know about Fast and Furious. Quote, this is Eric Holder writing, quote, "We need answers on this, not defensive BS, real answers." This is Eric Holder writing this in early 2011. But why did he wait then to show the committee?
A little selective leaking is to be expected.
So that's the key question, right? Because this is also occurring against the backdrop of the Fortune magazine piece coming out suggesting that the Fast and Furious investigation is much to do about nothing. But it doesn't answer the question.
In that piece.
Yeah.
But it doesn't answer the question. What happened for 10 months? Why did you need to cover this up? If there's nothing there, and you're just covering up this mix-up of what you went before Congress with, right? We did know or we didn't know. That's not that big a deal. Why would you need to go to such extensive lengths, including executive privilege, to cover up for what?
Because there's something there. That's the bottom line. Because there's something there. We may not know what it is, and we may never know.
I think Congress. I've always thought this. I
think
Congressman Issa, because imagine this. Imagine if the documents were released and there was nothing in them. They would look pretty bad. I think Congressman
Then they'd be out
has
already.
word. This is just a theory. I think he has word from the inside
No, I
that
don't
he
think
knows
so.
there's something in these documents.
So
I think somebody with access has probably said to him.
conflicting.
That would be my guess.
So my question is, so you don't put any merit in this email that appears to show that Eric Holder is actually trying to be quite, a man of integrity. We need to show, we need to,
Well, why does this email appear, but all the other emails are sacred?
No defensive
Someone
BS,
explain that to
real
me.
answers.
And why isn't this covered by executive privilege? Why would they release this? I mean, clearly, if you're going to release this and you're going to show that Eric Holder is guiltless here, you should obviously release the other documents because they would just prove the same thing.
They would back it up.
This is classic Washington stuff. You release what you want and you withhold what you don't.